Well, tonight, police are looking for a woman they say shot a man near USC. It happened early this morning on West 36th Place near South Catalina Avenue in Exposition Park. We're told they had apparently been arguing between a man and a woman there. The two are reportedly in a relationship. LAPD tells us the woman had a knife but then pulled out a handgun and shot that man. He is in critical but stable condition. Russian forces are pushing deeper into a key port city of Ukraine, and they're still stalled outside the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv. The latest from the war zone coming up next here at 9. And still ahead, Californians not heeding the call to conserve water are more painful penalties on the way.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Live look outside at Long Beach. We are tracking a little bit of rain and some snow, and then temperatures in the 80s and nearing 90 degrees. So a lot to talk about in weather coming up next.
And liftoff. Several dozen Starlink satellites are on their way to space this morning, and a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket carrying 53 Starlink satellites lifted off from the Kennedy Space Center late last night. Well, the mission marked the first time a Falcon 9 booster has launched and landed for a 12th time. Russian forces are pushing deeper into the key port city of Mariupol, battling in the streets with defending Ukrainian troops. This comes as Ukraine's president continues to urge Russian leader Vladimir Putin to end this devastating war. KCAL 9's Michael George has the very latest tonight.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky renewed his appeal for more talks with Moscow, aimed at stopping the war. In his nightly video address, Zelensky said Russia would take several generations to recover its losses from the devastating assault on his country, while Russian President Vladimir Putin's forces remain stalled outside the capital, Kyiv. They're inflicting destruction around the nation. On Friday, Putin held a large rally in Moscow, vowing Russia will prevail in the weeks-long conflict. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin spoke about the war as he visited Bulgaria, a NATO member.
Russia's invasion has taken a terrible toll on Ukrainian lives, including brave soldiers and far too many innocent civilians. Yet Russia's aggression has galvanized the Ukrainian people, NATO, and the free world.
Russia says its soldiers entered the city of Mariupol. Heavy fighting shut down a steel plant in the besieged port city, where efforts continued to pull survivors from the rubble of a theater. Hundreds of civilians were taking shelter in the theater's basement when Russia bombed it. The UN now estimates 1 in every 5 Ukrainians have been displaced inside the country or have fled. On Saturday, Zelensky presented awards to soldiers from a national police unit helping in the war effort. Michael George, KCAL 9 News.
Russia's defense ministry says it's used its newest hypersonic missiles for the first time in Ukraine on Friday. It destroyed a weapons storage site. It is reportedly the first time Russia has admitted to using the high-precision weapon in combat. We are following all the developments overseas and here at home. Stay with KCAL 9 and KCAL9.com for the latest on the war in Ukraine and streaming on CBS News Los Angeles. Well, we want to get to your weather because we've been talking about it all week. Could we get some rain? And it looks like those clouds have rolled in, Olga, and some people seeing some of those showers out there.
Yeah, and you know, much needed, of course, across here in Southern California. We're getting a little bit of wet weather, not a ton of rain for most of us, about 1/10 of an inch or less, a little bit more for some of our mountains. And along with this system, we're also seeing an increase in those winds. I know I felt it today. We have advisories in place, wind advisories for places like the Santa Clarita, San Fernando Valley. This is going to continue through Monday, 6 a.m. High wind warning. That's where we'll see those strongest winds for the mountains of LA and Ventura, gusts nearing 50 to even 60 miles per hour, and also a wind advisory for parts of the Inland Empire as well as the Coachella Valley. And we're looking at some very strong winds across our region tomorrow and even into the early part of the work week. So here's a look at winds outside right now. We're seeing some of those stronger winds out through parts of the Antelope Valley, but really those gusts, they will continue to intensify as we head into tomorrow. And even as we head into the afternoon, you'll see those winds become a little bit more widespread and even stronger as we head into the 7 o'clock hour, continuing strong in the 20s, 30s, 40s and 50s as we head into early Monday. Then those winds will start to subside later in the day on Monday. As far as temperatures outside, it has definitely cooled down from where we were yesterday. 54 in Simi Valley, also 50s for Woodland Hills, upper 50s in Van Nuys. Plenty of 50s outside for places like downtown and Pasadena. As we head into Orange County, we're seeing some 60s out there for Santa Ana as well as Irvine. 58 in Mission Viejo. Out in the Inland Empire, plenty of places in the 50s and 30s and 40s up in the mountains. So here's a look at the difference from where we were 24 hours ago. A significant drop, more than 10 degrees for places like Van Nuys, Burbank, Ontario. And things will start changing, though, as we head into next week. So here's this area of low pressure that's bringing us those showers. We'll really see more of that rain as we head into the overnight hours. And really, most of this will be an overnight event. It's really going to push through very quickly. As we head into Sunday morning, most of that rain is actually clearing out and pushing off to the east. By Sunday evening, we are left with some dry conditions, and you can see this ridge of high pressure starting to build in, and that's going to mean some very warm temperatures for us as we head into the upcoming week. Temperatures nearing 20-25 degrees above average. We could be talking record temperatures. So I'll show you that extended forecast in just a few minutes. Leslie.
Thanks, Olga. Still ahead here at 9, a millionaire steps in to help with rising gas prices. He can afford it, but many are struggling with these high prices, so he's priming the pump himself. That's next at 9. And it's known as the South variant or the Omicron subvariant. What can we expect as more and more restrictions are lifted across the Southland? And remember, if you see news happening, we do want to hear from you on social media. Just share your story ideas, photos, and video by using the hashtag CBSLA. A Chicago millionaire and businessman decided he wanted to help residents struggling with high gas prices. Dr. Willie Wilson donated $200,000 worth of free gas, and hundreds of people lined up.
I am feeling so great right now with this $50. I am so happy, Willie. Hey!
Stephanie Towns waited in line for 5 hours for Dr. Wilson's gas giveaway, but she says it was a small price to pay for free gas. Dr. Wilson took over 10 different gas stations across the city, giving each person who showed up $50. He says he felt it was necessary to help.
People are desperate for money to get gas, to get to work. You have to tell my people livelihood.
When he asked if he'd do anything different, he says he wishes that he gave more money. He adds that he'd like to do this kind of giveaway a few more times. Coming up next, the latest developments on our breaking news tonight. An LA County Sheriff's chopper goes down with 5 people on board in the Angeles National Forest. The very latest coming up. Plus, we've been asked to conserve, but that hasn't panned out. So what now? We'll take a look. And a tough job at a California aquarium, teaching otters how to be foster parents.
Live from the Broadcast Center in Los Angeles, this is KCAL 9 News at 9.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Chris Holmstrom. It has been our breaking news tonight. The crash of an LA County Sheriff's helicopter. You can see it right here. It happened this evening in the Angeles National Forest. So the chopper, it went down near Highway 39, which is also near the San Gabriel Dam. We know 6 people were rescued from the helicopter. One of them is listed in critical condition. That condition is now considered stable. The others, they have moderate to minor injuries. Live team coverage continues at the top of the hour on KCAL 9 News at 10 o'clock. Well, spring officially arrives tomorrow, but a dry winter has made our drought look worse. Our outlook is way worse, actually, and state water officials say they'll be cracking down this year, only giving 5% of requested water supplies instead of 15% to several water agencies. Why? because many water managers say they only saw a 2% reduction in line with other parts of the state.
For every day that you reduce your sprinklers, you're looking at somewhere between 70 to 200 gallons per day of watering. In July of last year, I turned my timers down by 20%, and I used the season percent adjust function on the timer, and my savings is down for my family and my home 17%.
Again, experts say residents need to remember that cutting back 15% can be accomplished daily just by turning down your sprinklers. Well, in fact, instead of using less water, California as a whole used nearly 3% more this January compared to just 2 years ago. Devin Feely is in San Jose with the breakdown of the numbers.
The governor has called on Californians to voluntarily conserve water with limited success. And now that it's abundantly clear that the drought is not going to loosen its grip on the state, some are asking if now isn't the time to make those calls for conservation mandatory. Our reservoirs are going down and water usage is going up. And you don't need to be a hydrologist to know that doesn't bode well for us as we enter the hottest and driest month of the year.
We're facing, snowpack levels that are well below normal. We're facing reservoir levels that are well below normal. And now we're heading into the dry part of the year. Last July, Governor Gavin Newsom declared a drought emergency and urged Californians to cut water use by 15%. But as a state, we never reached that goal, never even got close, saving just under 7% statewide. And in January, things started trending in the wrong direction, with water use actually up 2.6%.
When we were asked to conserve, I didn't see any teeth in the efforts to enforce conservation. And so I'm really not surprised that we didn't do a very good job.
Only a handful of water providers in the Bay Area, like the San Jose Water Company and Great Oaks Water, have begun to charge penalties for people who use too much. But some customers say if you really want them to pay attention and change their behavior, hit them where it hurts, in the wallet.
But if you had to pay more for it, that'd get your attention.
Definitely, if I saw a notice or a jump in my water bill, it would make us rethink our water usage strategy.
January and February were some of the driest months on record, but there was still hope for a March miracle, rainfall that would replenish our reservoirs and restore the snowpack and loosen the grip of the drought. But time and hope and, frankly, water are all running out. The Santa Clara Valley Water District says they prefer persuasion to penalties and fines for people that use too much water. But they say, frankly, as we get deeper into the drought, all options are on the table. Devin Feely, KCAL 9 News.
A parent's guidance can be essential to surviving in this world, and that's true in the animal kingdom as well. But in Northern California, some unfortunate sea otters were literally adrift until a very special program stepped in to help. John Figliotti has the story.
These sea otters at the Monterey Bay Aquarium are more than just the star attraction.
Oh yeah, they're very curious this morning.
The curious bunch also plays a key role in nursing pups separated from their biological mothers in the turbulent Pacific Ocean. Most pups would not survive if not for the aquarium's intervention. And here on the West Coast, where the species is threatened, Kevin Connor with the aquarium says saving every otter pup is critical.
When we bring in a pup that has been stranded, when it's ready to be with a mom, we pair them with one of these exhibit sea otters.
After a health check by an aquarium veterinarian, their new mothers go to work.
What is their specific function here at the rehab center?
Their natural instincts equip them to be a better mom than any human being could ever be. So they help raise the pup.
They'll only spend about a year being rehabbed. Their surrogates, familiar with humans, will stay at the aquarium and be matched with new pups.
So these exhibit otters essentially prepare rehabbed otters to be reintroduced?
Yes, they prepare them for life in the wild.
Over half of the population growth that we saw in that 20-year period is actually because of the sea otters that we rescued and then we released back into this area.
30 miles north, where Just Fuji patrols as part of the aquarium's restoration project, the growing number of sea otters is a sign of success.
But here we are, and we've seen a number now of sea otters. It's almost hard to believe that they're threatened.
Here in Elkhorn Slough, there's about 100 to 150 sea otters in Elkhorn Slough. Weren't always this densely populated. In the early 2000s, there's probably only about 20 sea otters in here.
Beyond Elkhorn Slough, the southern sea otter, whose habitat stretches from Oregon to Mexico, is still recovering from the deadly fur trade that reduced their population from 16,000 to only 50 by the early 1900s. Today, there are an estimated 3,000 sea otters.
So their presence in estuaries and kelp forests plays a very important role in keeping those habitats healthy.
Fuji's research here isn't just about saving otters. The species is critical in protecting carbon-absorbing seagrass.
She'll dive to the bottom, grab some crabs, bring them back to the surface, and eat them as well as share with her pups.
Eating those crabs is helping protect the seagrass here.
Exactly. By keeping the crab population under control, they're helping other species like sea slugs help keep the seagrass healthy.
The Monterey Bay Aquarium's Sea Otter Recovery Program is expanding. Jess Fuji is hoping to replicate the results of Elkhorn Slough in Morro Bay, an estuary 100 miles south. 4 sea otters have been released so far.
Looking forward, we're working with partners to really see, is it possible to re-establish sea otters in areas where they're no longer present, but they were in the past.
So a success here, but still a lot more work to do.
Yeah, a lot more work to do, but we're very hopeful that we'll see a lot of benefits.
I'm Jonathan Vigliotti in Monterey.
Oh, what a great program. It was a sea of trash and packaging left on the tracks in LA. Modern day train robbers stealing everything you could think of that's being shipped on the railroad. Well, now there's a break in the case. That story still ahead at 9. Also, UCLA looks to punch its ticket to the Sweet 16. Jimmy Maggio has highlights next in sports.
Welcome back. I'm Jamie Maggio with sports. A spot in the Sweet 16 on the line between 4-seed UCLA and 5-seed St. Mary's. The winner facing North Carolina on Friday. So the Bruins looking to advance to the Sweet 16 for a second straight year. We've got over 6 minutes left in the first half. UCLA trailing by 2 until this. Jules Bernard hits a three-pointer that gives the Bruins their first lead of the game. And then just over 4 minutes to go in the half, UCLA now leading 26-22. Tiger Campbell makes the turnaround jumper, and the Bruins have a 36-29 lead at halftime. A scary sight here for Bruins fans. Jaime Jaquez, who has dealt with ankle injuries all season long, comes down awkwardly. You can see him kind of hobbling off the court there in pain. Jaquez leaves the game with 7 minutes to go. Now it's 55-47 Bruins, 6 minutes left. UCLA in total control. Campbell off the screen and roll hits Cody Riley. He finishes it, plus the foul. Bruins offense coming alive in the second half. Under 2 minutes to go. UCLA pulling away. They're up 66-51, and Riley again from deep, and that is all but seals it for UCLA. The Bruins would go on to win 72-56, punching their ticket to the Sweet 16.
These guys performed today, so they all stepped their games up. Cody's out on the radio, but these guys all shot over 50% sitting up here and made big time plays.
We just kept our energy up on defense and kept making plays on offense, and just building momentum throughout the game really helped us.
All right, Lakers in D.C. and LeBron James looking to pass Karl Malone on the NBA all-time scoring list. LeBron wastes no time getting the 19 points he needed. Lakers up by 5, and he cuts in, makes a bucket, and that is it. LeBron becomes the league's second all-time leading scorer, finishing with a game-high 38 points. Let's skip ahead to the third quarter now. Lakers up by 11. This time LeBron dishes it, hits a wide open Carmelo Anthony. He hits the three. That's one of his 3 triples tonight. Lakers in the driver's seat. They were up 97-83, but look at this. In the fourth quarter, it's the Wizards who took over, outscoring the purple and gold 34-20. Up by 3 under a minute to go, Kristaps Porzingis caps things off with a 3 from the top of the key, and the Lakers, believe it or not, would go on to lose 127-119.
It's an honor for myself, for my hometown, and for my family, my friends, to be able to live these moments throughout this journey, and that's exactly what I do it for. I do it for my family, my friends, my hometown.
And it appears quarterback Matthew Stafford is going to be staying with the Rams after reaching an agreement on a reported 4-year, $160 million extension. Stafford set a franchise record with nearly 5,000 yards passing, while tying a team record 41 touchdown passes, while leading the Rams to a Super Bowl championship. The Rams are also working on a contract extension for All-Pro defensive tackle Aaron Donald. And congrats to those guys. That's what happens, Chris. You win a Super Bowl, you get paid. Back to you.
There you go. And a lot of money, too. Yeah. All right, Jamie, thank you so much. We are just hours away from the biggest race of the year on the streets of L.A. Runners in the L.A. Marathon are getting ready for their last bit of rest tonight before the starting gun early tomorrow morning. We'll take a look at the route, the roadblocks, and the runners next at 9. Olga.
Yes, hi, and we have one of our own that's going to be in the marathon. I think she's going to be sleeping right now, though. But we're going to have your marathon forecast as well as some very hot temperatures next week coming up next.
The ballot for LA mayor's race is now finalized. The LA city clerk has released the names of the candidates who made the cut for the June 7th primary. So here they are. The most prominent candidates include Democratic Congresswoman Karen Bass, City Councilman Joe Buscaino and Kevin De Leon, City Attorney Mike Fuyur, and real estate developer Rick Caruso. Also on the ballot, entrepreneur Ramit Varma, business owner John J. Samuel Jackson, and community activist Gina Viola. And also finally, there's realtor and former Metro board member Mel Wilson, Echo Park neighborhood council member Alex Grunenfelder Smith, and businessman Craig Grivy, also lawyer Andrew Kim. Okay, so springtime is also seeing a new COVID variant blooming around the world, but will it have an impact here in the state where many COVID restrictions and mandates have been removed or relaxed? We spoke with an ER doctor about BA2.
The reason why we're talking about this now is that it's been proven to be more transmissible, more contagious than the original BA1. So that's why we're starting to see an increase in cases in Europe and other countries.
You touched on this. We are seeing cases increase in Europe and China. Can this variant be attributed to the increase? And do you think we will see a surge here in LA?
So I think what's happening in Europe is probably a result of a number of things. And number one, they've dropped a lot of restrictions. They're opening up. More people are mingling now than ever in the last couple of years. Vaccines are waning, which is an expected thing, that although they protect against severe illness and hospitalization, they're going to leave you a little bit more open to infection, which is why we want people to get boosted in the first place, to sort of re-up your protection against infection.
And COVID hospitalizations in LA County continue to fall. 432 people are hospitalized. Numbers have not been this low since last July. The county also reported new cases and 25 additional deaths. Well, now to the evening before another major athletic event. It's the biggest race in Southern California. Tonight, we're counting down to the annual LA Marathon. So this morning, runners, they descended on Dodger Stadium to pick up their bibs for tomorrow's big race. And we actually caught up with one of the competitors who said he is fired up for his third LA Marathon.
I think it's mainly the challenge, just the mental challenge. Obviously, it's difficult and not something everyone wants to do, but yeah, when you're in it, it's just, it does something to your perspective. I'm very excited. If you've never done a marathon before, I highly encourage you to do it. I think it's great, and a lot of camaraderie out here.
Love that guy's energy. So thousands of runners are expected to compete in the big race. And along the entire marathon route, there was also plenty of activity. Signs were posted on dozens of roads warning of street closures from Silver Lake to Century City. So here's a look at where it's going to be. The marathon, it will start at Dodger Stadium. It'll go through downtown LA, Little Tokyo, Hollywood, West Hollywood, Beverly Hills, Century City, Westwood, and Brentwood. That is where runners will turn around, double back, and finish on the Avenue of the Stars in Century City. I don't know about you, Olga, but I'm exhausted just reading that route. But speaking of accomplishments, our very own Alex Biston is actually going to be running the marathon.
That's who I was teasing. Exactly.
Which is huge, like so cool.
Oh my gosh, how 26 miles.
Ooh, so is she going to be rained on?
At the crack of dawn. Yeah, I'm sure she's sleeping right now. But if you are watching, Alex, good luck, and you know what? Good for you. I mean, this is a huge accomplishment just to even complete this marathon. You know, and weather-wise, it's going to be cool in the morning. Here is your marathon forecast. So at 6 a.m., the race begins at 6:30, 51 degrees, cloud cover. You know, this rain really will not impact the race too much. We could still see a few lingering light showers, but really nothing of any major significance. By 10 a.m., 60 degrees, and by the afternoon hours in the low 70s. And again, mostly dry. This is going to be mostly an overnight event. We're starting to see some of those showers moving through Southern California, but still most of that still to our north. Again, that will continue pushing south as we head into the next several hours. Satellite radar tracker showing us most of that rain out through the IE and Orange County as we head into the 11 o'clock hour, pushing south into San Diego County. Again, a little further east as we head into the overnight hours. And even by early 5 a.m., Look at that. Even most of LA, that's where that race, that LA Marathon will be through, looking at some dry conditions. And by late morning, things will continue to clear out. So most of your Sunday expected to be dry. Temperatures outside 56 in Santa Monica, some light winds from the west-southwest, and more current numbers. We're looking at 30s through Big Bear, 60 degrees in Santa Ana, mid-50s in Ontario. Futurecast showing you, yes, that storm moving through. This is a weak storm. We're also expecting some snow for some of those higher elevations. Passes will not be impacted. And as far as rain, most areas about 1/10 of an inch or less. Some of those mountains will get a little bit more. But again, this is going to be a very fast moving storm already by Sunday, even into the afternoon hours. We're looking at some dry conditions as this area of high pressure starts to build in, and that means warm temperatures. And we're talking 80s, even near 90 degrees for some of our valleys. So near record heat will potentially break some records as we head into next week. And that trend will continue for the entire work week. Here's a look at temperatures tomorrow. Not too bad, actually. Plenty of 70s still expected. Again, it's going to be a dry day. That storm will have pushed through mid-70s through the San Fernando Valley into parts of the Inland Empire. Tomorrow also, it is the beginning of spring. It actually officially begins at 8:33 in the morning, and we are going to start it on a warm note. Here's a look at temperatures over the next 7 days. There are those 80s for the valleys, even for LA, Inland, Orange County, still keeping things warm as we head into next weekend. But really, the peak of the heat will be through midweek when we'll see some of those mid to upper 80s across a lot of inland spots. Chris, back to you.
Olga, thank you so much. We remember the stunning video, rail robberies on steroids. The thieves, they took the shipments right off of rail cars and just left the packaging littering the tracks. Now there's been a break in the case. That's next at 9. A crackdown on recent rail thefts. LAPD says its task force arrested 5 suspects. Investigators say they confiscated more than $250,000 worth of stolen merchandise, nearly $6 grand in cash, a stolen motorcycle, and other vehicles as well. An entire floor of low-income renters in downtown LA are being evicted, but the city says they never should have been living there in the first place. So take a look. Residents on the 3rd floor of this building, they got a 30-day eviction notice last week. Inspectors were at the building and immediately noticed there are not any windows in the units, and the only ones in the hallway, they're locked. Renters also don't have heating or cooling. One man says he pays about $800 a month. That's all he can afford. Well, now he's worried he'll be forced back out on the streets.
Being faced with this again in my life is very emotional, and I have no answers. So yeah, I kind of feel like crying, but the camera's here and I can't cry. So because I need to be strong for my wife.
And his hardship is one of many that a lot of people are experiencing here. We did call and also texted the landlord, but we have not heard back. Residents, though, they tell our Christine Lazar that the housing department has told them that the city will put them up temporarily because it's not safe to live in the building any longer. We've seen major upsets in March Madness so far, but not even to the Sweet 16 yet. So if that makes you feel good, then this weekend, there's a reason you root for the underdogs. That story next at 9. Also, coming up at the top of the hour on KCAL 9 News at 10. The latest on our breaking news, the LA County Sheriff's helicopter that crashed in the Angeles National Forest. We'll have an update on the 5 people that were taken to the hospital. And hitting the gas pedal on gas prices after price increases slowed. Well, they're going back up again, and they're going up fast. Find out why. That's ahead at 10. We are well into the second round of March Madness on our CBS station. Also, there have been some big upsets so far, and of course, yeah, that makes a lot of people very happy. So sports psychologists say there's a reason for that. We can all relate to the team, even if we're not always aware of it, and we always expect the best team to win. So when that doesn't happen, we find joy in the unexpected.
When we see people who are really great mess up, it makes us go, okay, cool. Maybe I'm not that different than everybody else.
And he says we often find an unexpected outcome to simply be more exciting. I must say for myself, I'm always going for the underdogs as well. All right, that will do it for 9. KCAL 9 News at 10 starts right now.
Breaking news right now on KCAL 9 News at 10.
Breaking news, 6 people injured after an LA County Sheriff's helicopter went down in the Angeles National Forest. Well, good Saturday evening. I'm Leslie Marin.
And I'm Chris Holmes from our top story here on KCAL 9 News, also streaming on CBS News Los Angeles. The helicopter crashed while on its way to a car accident.
It went down near Highway 39 and the San Gabriel Dam. We have live team coverage tonight, beginning with KCAL 9's Laurie Perez. Good evening, Laurie.
Good evening. We're here along Highway 39, also known as the San Gabriel Canyon Road, some miles from where LASD's Air 5 rescue helicopter crashed earlier this evening. This is where they have the road closed off. Let's go to some video Sky 9 was able to get before dark. The chopper is seen on its side, almost upside down. The good news being where it crashed, right next to the road. As you can see, the pilot told investigators he was actually coming to a landing when we're told there was some sort of problem with the chopper, and it crashed hard near East Fork Road just before 5 this afternoon. We're told Air 5 Rescue was on its way to a rollover car accident. They were going to make an air evacuation when the helicopter went down, and so fortunately there were fire crews also responding to the car crash, so they were able to help the victims in the chopper crash immediately. Sheriff Alex Villanueva was at Pomona Valley Hospital earlier tonight, where 6 people on board that chopper were taken for treatment.
The helicopter suffered some malfunction of some sort. We don't know it was by mechanical, environmental, what they called a brownout, wind change, but as they were trying to descend on a little turnout around mile marker 22, they suffered a hard landing and a rollover. The aircraft landed just a few feet from a 200-foot drop down to Morris Dam below. So the fact that it did not roll over, go all the way down, or that there was no fire is nothing short of a miracle.
So lucky. Now, the NTSB and the FAA are both going to have their own investigation into what led to that malfunction that the sheriff mentioned. As for the people in that original rollover car crash, we're told the victims in that received minor injuries and they were taken to a local medical center for treatment. We are live in Azusa. I'm Laurie Perez. Back to you.